Thank you so much, Jim. As my classmate and friend, our current president, Father John Jenkins, once remarked, and is so evident by the lives of the 84 ACE graduates in front of me, Notre Dame simply is different. And we understand that in being different from the world, we endeavor to make a difference in the world. No one embodies that more fully and beautifully than today's commencement speaker. Indeed, Notre Dame would not be in a position to engage our culture in myriad ways to work for peace and justice, to strive for civil rights for all Americans and abroad, to advance science and technology for the good of humanity, to promote democracy, to promote a healthy environment, and to serve God and country, and to see Notre Dame as a premier Catholic university, were it not for the extraordinary vision and passion of my own brother in Holy Cross, Father Theodore M. Hesburgh. Nowhere else but Notre Dame could the ACE 12 graduates have their commencement be honored with the presence of a man who has become the iconic figure of the past half-century of higher education in the Church and in America. A man who holds the Guinness Book of World Records for the most honorary degrees with over 150, a man whose indelible impact on American civil life has earned him, I might say uniquely, both the Presidential Medal of Freedom and the Congressional Gold Medal, the two highest civilian awards in the United States of America, and who served as counselor to presidents for over 2 decades. Nowhere else but Notre Dame would we have the opportunity today to be honored by a man whose legacy is found in more areas of this institution than any introduction could do justice. A man who has, in almost every way, made the University of Notre Dame what it is today, and a man who has transformed lives in every corner of the globe. Father Hesburgh is a living legend. I recall walking the halls of Congress with him as we were getting ACE started and working to get the federal government to acknowledge the value of our contribution as a faith-based institution with the AmeriCorps program. I got to tell you that is one of the experiences in my life I will never forget, as congressmen, doorkeepers, household people, senators stopped dead in their tracks as they saw the legend walking by. Ordained a priest, a Holy Cross priest, in 1943, Father Hesburgh received his doctorate from Catholic University in 1945, and in 1952 he was named president of the University of Notre Dame. For the next 35 years he would serve in this role, transforming every facet of the university. Even as he led Notre Dame through an indelible, incredible period of growth, he also served as an advisor and leader for the civil rights movement, a tireless ambassador for peaceful use of atomic energy, a founding member of those who began the Peace Corps and literally began the volunteer service that is so alive and vibrant in this country today. But Father Ted, has always remained firmly grounded in his conviction that it's all about his fundamental identity as a priest of the Congregation of Holy Cross. He celebrates Mass every day and in almost any location on the planet. All of us in the congregation recall fondly the day that Father Ted received his Congressional Medal of Honor, standing there in the Capitol Rotunda amongst the heads of state of the past, present, and future, he remarked that the greatest day of his life was and always would be the day he was ordained a Holy Cross priest in the Basilica of the Sacred Heart. Ladies and gentlemen, ACE 12 graduates, please join me in extending a warm welcome to our esteemed speaker, a lifelong educator, a dedicated priest, an extraordinary leader, and a peerless witness of the difference we are all called to make in the world, Father Ted Hesburgh.
I have to say, in response to Father Tim in the beginning, they have a wonderful saying for it in Italian. Se non è vero è ben trovato. It may not all be true, but it certainly sounds awfully good. This is such a wonderful place, and so many wonderful things happen here in the lives of young people that I can't think of any place I'd rather have spent so many years of my life. I never thought that when I got to be 90 years old, I'd still be talking to a student group and they'd still be putting up with me. But I must say that although I was very happy fishing in northern Wisconsin and having a muskie on my line yesterday, a muskie being a muskellunge, the king of fish in that region. When Father Tim said that I had to come down because you were graduating and that Laura Bush, who was to be here, had to go to the funeral of Lady Bird, which I certainly understand and support, would I come? And I said, well, there's no other reason I would leave fishing and my meager vacation in the North Woods, but I am so much in admiration of each one of you and what you're doing with your lives that I simply had to be here if I'm the last alternative. And I guess at this point in the game I am the last alternative. So you're all stuck with me. I don't know what one says to a group like this. I have admired you since the day Father Tim got this whole business rolling, and he ought to get great credit for it, to not only get it rolling, but keep it rolling and make it better each year. And as your numbers mount, the numbers that have put in their 2 years of service and received their master's in teaching, as those years have gone by, I think all of us here at Notre Dame have been simply filled with pride, because we're always happy when our students do something outstanding, like a Tom Dooley, who came to world prominence for what he did in Vietnam and Laos and Cambodia during that terrible war. But I think what you are doing in ACE simply fills all of us with the highest pride possible and makes this place even better than it's been over 150 years. I must say to all of you that giving you advice perhaps is a little bit silly, since you've had advice from some of the finest teachers in the world, and that you have had your fling at teaching yourselves and come back to meet more teachers and then do it a second time. And I can't think of how bright you must all be now after 3 years in the field and 2 years of wonderful summer courses to do even better as you return to the field. But I'm enormously proud of you because any good thing, I don't care whether it's being a priest or a mother or whatever, every good thing requires competence. And competence requires hard work, being ready for the task, facing up to it, doing it day by day with verve and enthusiasm and joy, and finishing the day with a kind of glow inside, knowing that that was a day well spent. And there are a lot of youngsters out there who are better tonight than they were this morning because of the time I put in to try to lift their hearts and their minds to what makes their lives more than a drudgery or an emptiness, but fills it with a joy and a knowledge that they can do something that they couldn't do when they came to class this morning. I don't know any vocation more elevated. It's a kind of priestly vocation to bring light in the darkness, to bring hope to people who didn't have very much hope because of a dreary school or a school that wasn't really filled with the greatest of teachers. I don't know what one should be proud of more than the fact that so many of you, after 4 wonderful years at this university, to become competent in something or other, then at the end of this time are willing to launch yourself with whatever you have in the way of competence into a new field requiring more competence, not just more each year, but more each day of the year, and that somehow you have to grow into this task, and somehow you have to face up to it day after day, and then come back here in the summer and become more competent, and then go forth again to grow in competence through another year. All I can say is that I think all of you ought to feel very proud to be there in the audience today and to be able to come up here and receive a degree, a master's degree, for what you have done. Because whatever else one says, you are all now masters. You're masters of the art of teaching. You're masters of reaching out to where there is ignorance and filling it with knowledge. Reaching out into darkness and filling it with light. Reaching into dreariness and bringing hope. These are enormous human qualities that you have been working to bring out where they're mostly needed. And the fact that you've done it makes me swell with pride. There are a lot of things to be proud of here at Notre Dame, but nothing better than to be proud of the products. Be proud of the young women and young men who come here and study hard and work and grow, who learn how to pray at the grotto and how to study in the library, who somehow walk these grounds being better and better each day of each year. And then at graduation to be able to say, I'm going to take everything I have and all I've learned, and I'm going to use it to help someone who's not so fortunate. And that's what each one of you have done. And you've done it generously, and you've done it for 4 years, or for 3 years, if you take the 3 summer schools and the 2 years of service. No matter how you splice it, I think you have to say that we are very right to be proud of you. And indeed, I'm so proud of you I could cry. And I'm very close to that at times. Maybe that's part of getting older. You do it when you're younger and you do it when you're older. But this is something good to cry about because it's a cry of pride in young people who met the challenge, young people who stood up there and did their best, young people who grew and kept at it, young people who are not as young as they were 2 years ago, but have grown in moral stature and physical stature, but especially in the growth of the mind. And for all of this today, I can only say we're very proud of you. It goes without saying that we love you. And it goes also without saying that we will follow you with pride from now on, because you have something very important to be proud about. I think it's not just a question, though, of pride. It's a question of being able to reach out and continue to reach out to people who need someone. And you know, there's no place you'll go in your life, nothing else you'll ever do, where you won't find those faces looking at you every morning and knowing how much they need you and how much you can bring them a way of light in the darkness and hope in times of despair and courage when their courage is faltering and the world seems to be closing in on them in darkness. It's just a wonderful thing you have done, and for this I congratulate you this day, and I can only tell you how proud we are to claim you as Notre Dame folk, as Notre Dame people, as Notre Dame heroines and heroes in a field that needs these kinds of people desperately. Second thing I'd like to say, and it'll be much briefer, is that in addition to this wonderful competence that you have brought forth, I think you have shown a commitment that is going beyond what you've done and leads with great promise to the life yet ahead of you. I guess when you get to be my age, you're looking backward more than forward, but at your age, you very much should be looking forward with hope, looking forward with vision, looking forward with pride in what you have done up to this point. And to remember the little kid who said, "You ain't seen nothing yet," because I think we can say of all of you, we haven't seen anything yet of the wonderful talents so much in evidence in all of your lives thus far. So I say to you today that we're not complacent about what you've done, which is something fantastic, but we are burning with hope with what you still will do to the world. As long as there's breath left in you, keep moving forward. Keep following that ideal that has carried you thus far. Keep believing that you can make a difference, and you do make a difference in your life. Keep believing that the world's a little brighter and a little less dark than it was when you began in this field. And don't ever think that the best is behind you. Let me tell you, the best is yet to come. And you're going to be a part of that. And you're going to be part of the influence that makes it the best. And that's because you not only made yourself competent young people, but you committed yourself to the task at hand. And you carried it out fully and completely and with wondrous skill and dedication. The last thing I'd like to say is that the best is yet to come. That it isn't enough to have been competent, to have been committed, to have done what you did and have done. But it's good for you and good for our world and good for Notre Dame and its future that you look out and see there is so much yet to be done. Even at my decrepit age, I can see so many wonderful things yet to be done. And I can reach out and hope yet to do a few of them, despite the fact I'm getting there with a cane. I get there. And when I get there, I hope I can do something to make the show move on better and higher. Excellence is something that I think characterizes all of us at Notre Dame. And excellence isn't just a matter of your personal performance of whatever you do in life, but it's part of your hopes. You don't hope in vain for something below what you are. You hope to be higher and better. You hope to perform at a much greater level than you have in the past. You hope that the future will be bright with even more happiness than the past has held. So on a day like this, I can tell you that because of your dedication, because of your competence, because of your wonderful spirit of service, you don't have to just say that, you've proved it. Because of all of these things, when you come across this stage and take that diploma, it's perfectly okay, my dear Notre Dame students and alumni, it's perfectly okay to be filled with some pride. Pride that God gave you this chance in life to have the parents you had, to have the schools you had, to have had this University of Notre Dame as your alma mater, which it always will be, your dear mother, and to have had the opportunity that you took, and you get credit for that. You had the opportunity to grow during these past 2 years into something even better. And as the little kid said, you ain't seen nothing yet. I believe that for all of your lives. I know they're going to be better because I think they're inspired with hope. And you've laid that foundation of not just a Notre Dame 4-year undergraduate education, but 2 more years in association with a wonderful Notre Dame activity, a growth in knowledge, a growth in commitment, a growth in understanding, and to be able to bring something real and tangible and human and warm into the lives of kids who otherwise might see too much of what is dismal and dark and damp. For your future, I can only say, face it with hope. Don't ever believe when people say you can't do it, you're reaching too high. You're never reaching too high. Let that hope be something very vibrant in your lives. And it's not just an empty hope, like a dream in the night. It's a hope that the good Lord has led you thus far in life. He's given you wonderful families. He's given you supportive brothers and sisters. He's given you great faculty people who have spent long time to bring you up to where you are today. You've been inspired by, I hope, a few good Holy Cross priests to know that you can reach higher and do better than you had in the past. And you have. And today it's like a summit. But if you ever read about mountain climbing, the one thing about mountain climbing is you reach one summit and you look up and there's another one ahead of you and you still have to make that one. But you keep on going. And there comes a day when you stand at the top and you look out at that glorious panorama and you say, I'm here. And yet we're never really there till our life comes to an end, whenever that might be. And don't worry about that. I don't worry about it, although I'm a lot closer to it than you are. I just say, keep going. Let each day be a bright challenge. Let each glimmer of hope within you grow and prosper. Let your wonderful human feeling expand to go out and envelop those in need, especially those in need of education. Remember that when you finish each day, all those young kids are better than they were that morning. And they're going to be better after tomorrow and after the next day because you're there and because you're leading them on. None of us get anywhere in life without that kind of help. And to give your lives to that kind of help, whether it's formally in something like ACE or something less formal, but maybe just as important in the years ahead, the fact that each day you're out there, each day you're giving what you alone can give, each day you're facing the challenge with hope and faith, and also with love. And that somehow each day, because of this, you're a better person than you were the day before. And each day God smiles on you and is pleased with the wonderful life you're living. These are not just empty thoughts. I can speak them to you because you've given the proof of that each day during the past 2 years, and certainly during the 4 years before that. And my thought for you today is, don't look back. Be proud of what has happened, but look ahead to what is yet to come. And may I assure you that the best is yet to come, as long as you keep performing so well as you have in the past. So today I not just bring you my prayers, but if you will take it, my love. And also my pride at the fact that so many of you have done so much to benefit the lives of those who need it so much. For your future, I can only say you're in my prayers each day. For your past, I can only say many thanks, because you earn all the thanks that I could possibly come up with at this moment. And for the future, I can only say each one of you is in my Mass each day, as is every Notre Dame student or alumnus, now or deceased. And I say that with each coming day, step out with hope, but also with the gratitude of so many people whom you have helped so far to grow in hope, and so to have a much pleasant, more productive life. God bless and keep you all.